So last week we studied the first mantra of the first Anuvaka of the Rudradhyaya. Namaste Rudramanyava Utota Ishave Namaha. Namaste Astu Dhanvane Bahubhyam Utate Namaha. And the Rishi who found this mantra, his name was Atri. His name was Atri Maharshi. This Atri is a very well-known sage. So if you look at the construction of the name of this Rishi himself, it is A-tri. Tri is three. So the Sanskrit three is English three. So what is this three? It is the three kinds of bodies called Shariratraya, the gross body, the subtle body and the causal body. When you prefix a word or a letter, usually, not always, but mostly with the syllable A, it means not. So A3 means he who is not or he who is beyond the three body Shariratraya, Avastatraya, that means the wakeful state, dream state and deep sleep state, Avastatraya, Kalatraya, past, present and future, Gunatraya, Sattva, Rajas, Tamo gunas. So everything that is beyond. So what is that entity which is beyond all these three sums? It is none other than Atman. So Atri can also be translated as Atman. This Atri Maharshi had a wife, obviously. So in another place, this same Mahanarayana, the very last Anuvaka, talks about a yajna that is made by a Vidvamsa. It's called as Vidusho Yajna. In that yajna, the metaphor of the ritual of yajna is used in Vedanta. So for the regular yajna to be performed, you need a yajamana and you need a wife. Tasyaivam Vidusho Yajnasyatma Yajamanaha. And no yajna is possible without a patni. Shraddha patni. And you need the samhita, which is the twigs of a particular tree. It depends on the particular yajna. Shariramidhvam, the body itself becomes the samit. So in this context, Atri, Atman, who is the Yajamana, according to this Upanishad, the wife is Shraddha. So for this Atri Maharshi, the Shraddha or the commitment was freedom from envy, freedom from jealousy. Wherever there is freedom from envy and jealousy, there is no ragadvesha. Because there is no ragadvesha, there is no confusion, there is no moha. Therefore, Atri's wife is called Anasuya. Asuya means jealousy. Asuya, therefore, Atri's wife is Anasuya. So it is this sage who was the very embodiment of Atman. With an appropriate wife, Anasuya is the mantra drashtara of the first and the second mantras of the Namaka Prashna. You will meet this couple in Ramayana when Rama, Lakshmana and Sita actually go to Dandakaranya. They come to an area which was haunted by Viradha, and in that area Atri Maharshi had his ashrama. The Rama and Lakshmana stay there for quite a length of time, and Atri Maharshi actually teaches Dharma Shastra, especially Raja Dharma, to Rama. And Anasuya teaches Sati Dharma, that is the Dharma of a worthy wife, to Sita. And actually Anasuya takes care of Sita more than her own mother. It is with that attention she loves and takes care of Anasuya. Actually later on, at the war was over and Ravana was slain, and they in the Pushpaka Vimana, Sita and Rama will be coming back, and Rama points out to the Atri Ashrama and say, this is where we stayed and this is where I actually killed Viradha. So that episode is there in Ramayana. So the point here is that the Namaste Rudramanyava and the second mantra is discovered by such an eminent Maharshi. And he is also a historical figure. So he is not some fictitious name that was given. And Atri was one of the 10 Manasaputras of Brahma. This is the Purana part. He was one of the 10 Manasaputras, and therefore he was also a progenitor of the entire creation. He was himself a Prajapati. In the Rigveda, we have got 4 beautiful other mantras also given by Atri Maharshi, which we use in the Navagraha Sukta. So he actually creates these 4 mantras. A demon by the name Svarbhanu was attacking sun, and that is how the eclipse was happening. Who this Svarbhanu later on becomes Rahu. There are 4 very beautiful mantras which is composed by Atri. This couple were so eminent that Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, the creator, the stabilizer and the withdrawer, they take birth in their womb as 3 sons. And Brahma takes birth as Chandra, and Mahavishnu takes birth in their womb as Dattatreya, and Durvasa is the son that comes from Shiva's Amsha. So these 3 were also children of Atri and Anasuya. Another significant contribution of Atri Maharshi was that he codified medicine. He was the one who determined the Kapha Vata Pitta, this Doshatraya, was actually discovered by Atri Maharshi, and he also created 64 tastes. It is Ayurveda, 64 tastes, and then its aftertaste, and he also determined what is the quality of each one of these tastes. So this helps in diagnosis by the doctor. So he will say, how is the taste, how is the aftertaste, and that's how he deduces what is the malady of that particular patient. So the second mantra is also given by Atri. Yatha ishu shivatama shivam babhuva dhanu shiva sharavya yatavatayano rudramrudaya. The meaning of this mantra is Ya ishuhu te shivatama. Because of my prayer, that arrow which you had actually got ready to shoot at me has now become peaceful. Ya te ishuhu shivatama. Not only that, te dhanuhu shivam babhuva. Your bow also has become auspicious. Ya sharavya tava shiva, sharavya shiva. You have put away your arrow into the quiver. Taya, by that quietened, which has become peaceful, Shanta, the bow, the arrow and the quiver, Mridaya, protect me, make me happy. So this is the literal meaning of the mantra. So we cannot go only by the literal meaning, there is something inside that. So when you see the Lord as the one who dispenses the outcome of our karmas, in other words, karmadhyaksha, we ourselves know what are the defects, we ourselves know very clearly what wrong things we have done in our life. And when that comes to haunt us, then we will be looking at the Lord as very violent, as ready to shoot at us. This is the inner fear. So whom we see is this Rudra, who is armed to the teeth and ready to shoot at us. Then we do prayer. Prayer is another form of atonement. Atonement is prayaschitta. When we do atonement, then what happens? The same Shiva who was Rudra now becomes a protector. So imagine when you have a fully armed guard who is protecting you, you feel safe and secure. This fully armed enemy who was about to shoot you, as Karmadhyaksha, now as the blessing and the protector, he becomes our guard. If any of you can remember the two beautiful words from Vishnu Sahasranama, what is the nature of Mahavishnu? Bhayakrit Bhayanashanaha. So how do we understand that the same Vishnu is both Bhayakrit and Bhayanashana? He is Bhayakrit when our karmas are very bad. One who creates fear. Bhayanashanaha, one who removes fear, is when we have Prayaschitta. This is also glorified in another beautiful Subhashita of the heart of noble people. Vajradapi kathorani. They can be more harsh and strong and powerful than a diamond. Mriduni kusumadapi. They can also be as soft, more soft than a flower, a petal of a flower. They can be both. Lokottaranam chetamsi. Those who are beyond the world, their mind, konu vijnatum arhasi. Who can understand? Only we can understand by means of prayer. Because Shiva is so easily pleased, all we did was Namaste Rudramanyava Utota Ishave Namaha. Immediately he is happy with us. And therefore he is also called as Ashutosha. Ashutosha means easily pleased or quickly pleased. The Sanskrit word Shara, Sharavya means the quiver. The Sanskrit word Shara also means harsh words. See, this is where now it becomes closer and personal. When we take this Shara of harsh words and direct it towards other people, then we are displaying the form of a Rudra in us. The Rudravatara we are showing. So you become Rudra. And this same person who has become Rudra, by means of using very strong words, abusing words to another person, the subtext of this mantra is you put away all those abusive words in the quiver. Don't use them, don't direct them towards anybody. Where the body has become the bow, the words become the arrow. The anger becomes the card. So when you have become like that, then who is the Devata of this mantra? The previous mantra was Rudra. In this mantra, the Devata is Shambhu. Shambhu, the word Shambhu means one who removes all the Adi Bhautika Tapa. Adi Bhautika Tapa means all the maladies and defects that can come to our body. When you shoot an arrow, what happens? The body gets hurt. And what is the Adhyatmika Tapa? That is the Tapa that comes to your mind. It is the Dukkha of the Samsara. So by the Japa of the second mantra, in fact, the Shastra prescribes, if you are really agitated in your mind, this second mantra, Yata Ishush Shivatama Shivam Babhuvati, 12 times in the morning and 12 times in the evening, if you chant, the Shastra says that your dukkha will go away and then you will become peaceful. Prayoga. So what is the subtext here? Na ashlilam kirtayet. At any given time, whatever be the provocation, na ashlilam. Ashlila means evil words, bad words, cuss words, such words, na kirtayet, should never be used, even for fun. So, even for fun we should not use bad words. Otherwise, the Rudra's form will present itself to us.
If you say the word though when nobody's in the room and you're just some anger comes out, still it's bad?
Still it is bad.
Okay.
That is why the moment it comes out and you recognize it has come out, you do this mantra 12 times. The second mantra, that is in the Rudra.
Okay.
So that is from the third and the fourth lines. Third mantra. Ya te Rudra Shiva Tanura Ghora Papakashini Tayanas Tanuvashantamaya Girishanta Vichakashi. This is a very interesting chandas. Here it is called Trivrud Anushtup Chandas. Anushtup Chandas has to have 8 letters and 4 lines. That means there must be 24 letters. But this particular mantra has got 27 letters. 3 letters more. Therefore, it is called Trivrid, 3 more. So, is this objectionable? Then why should we call that as chandas? If they don't stick to any rule. Because there is the Nichrid Gayatri. Nichrid Gayatri is, there are only 23 letters. Whereas Gayatri is of 24 letters. So, why we accept this violation? In Kavya or in poetry, there is a very strict rule. There the rule is called Akshara Chandas. If Anushtup Chandas is used in poetry, it has got to be exactly 32 letters, 8 times 4. But in music and in Veda, it is not Akshara Chandas, but it is called as Matra Chandas. That is why if you closely study the musical compositions, many of the compositions may not fit into any rules of Chandas. So Sangeeta's, Gana's compositions, literature and Vedic literature are similar. But that doesn't mean it is completely free of any rules. The basic rule is it must have so many letters. For example, the Trishtup will have to have 11 times 4. Anushtup has got to have 8 times 4. If there is one more, then for the Chandas you say it is Bhurik Trishtup or Bhurik Anushtup. If there are 2 more, then you will say Swarat. Swarat Trishtup, Swarat Anushtup. If there are 3 more, you say Trivrud Anushtup. If it is 1 less, you say Nritrit. If it is 2 less, you say Virat. That's all the scope that is given. So it is not a loose prose composition, it's a poetic composition. So what determines the propriety of these changes? As long as in your chanting of the mantra, it is not jarring. That is all the condition. Similar to music. In music also what you do, if the matras, chandas, the akshara chandas does not fit, you add akaras or whatever syllable that you are using, you use that to make up. As long as the flow of the chanting, the flow of the music is okay, it is permitted. So hereafter, when I point out the Rishi Devata Chandas, if I use these technical words, then you have been introduced to that. Te Rudra Shivatanuhu Aghora Apavakashini. Now, I have seen the violent form of Rudra. Then I made a prayer. As soon as the prayer is done, he put away his weapons. Correct? Let us map it on to our everyday relationship with people. Somebody is very angry with you. Then you do certain things to bring down their anger. But still the distortions of the body will remain. the anger lingers on, isn't it? You don't break into a smile and into a comfortable posture right away. Same thing the Rishi also here is looking at Shiva, and then he will say, "Hey Shiva, you have put away your weapons. May those weapons that you were actually sporting and which you have put away, and still you have the bow in your hand, your arrow in the quiver, ready to be taken out at any point of time. Let these weapons become an ornament for you." That is why you will see in all the iconography of Indian deities, the deity will be very, very peaceful as to when you look at the deity, but the deity also carries weapons. Whether you see Venkateshwara, whether you see Shiva, whether you see Durga, you will see this structure. So what do we want to see Shiva now? We would like to see Shiva now with all the weapons, but who is Shiva Tanuhu. Tanu means body. The body which has become very calm and peaceful, which is actually radiating its love, affection, and then resolution of the anger. And it must be a ghora. It is not violent, it is not fearsome, it is not threatening, it is not frightful. Apapakashini. And then, He Girishanta, you who reside in the Vedic world. Girishanta, if you just look at the dictionary, it means one who is on the top of the mountain. Shiva is on the top of the Kailasa mountain. But the real import of this word is one who is in the Veda. Gira means Veda. In the Veda, his form has to be revealed to us. We say that knowledge which is in the Veda, which is Shiva, which is auspicious, which is Aghora, not violent, and which is Apapakashini, one which removes all my sins, that form you reveal to me. So when you chant this mantra, what is the revelation we get out of this mantra? It is the essence of the Veda mantra without its threatening aspect. Because there are a lot of mantras which can be very threatening. For example, Namo Taskaraya Cha, I bow down to the thief. A thief outwardly is very threatening. Vanchate parivanchate, one who cheats me, vanchate. I'm scared of those people. But to be able to see the Shiva in him is the training that is being given. Girishanta also means one who gives the highest moksha. You remember Gita, anybody who surrenders to Krishna and then, I am your student, please teach me, what does he say? Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. I will take away all the sins from you. Don't grieve. So we are asking for Shiva to present that kind of his form. Anger, weapons ready, prayer, put away the weapons, pray for his auspicious form, presents himself as auspicious form. When you approach the Lord with this surrender, with this attitude, the Prapatti and the Sharanagati is the essence of these three mantras. We'll continue next week.